message, so if Josh will come up.
Let us pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, God, we thank you so much for this and another day, Lord. We're so thankful, Lord, for your wonderful blessings that you bestowed upon us today, Lord, the ones that we've seen, Lord, and the ones that we've not even thought about. God, we come to you tonight, Lord, ask that you bless this city meeting, Lord. I pray, God, that everything on the agenda, Lord, goes according to your will. Bless each and every one of us that are in attendance today, Lord. I pray, God, now and ask all these things in your gracious Heavenly name. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so it is May 20th, and I'd like to call the City of Corbin Board of Commissioners meeting to order with a roll call, please.
Moore. Shepherd.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Gamble.
Here.
Rasmus.
Here. First on the agenda is to approve the April bills for payment.
Motion to approve. Second.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Gamble.
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Approve the minutes of the April 15th regular called meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Baker.
Disqualified.
Gamble.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Okay, before we get into the meat of the meeting, I would like to do something really fun that we like to do when someone in our community does something over and above what is expected of them. And I'm really happy to announce tonight that Cadet Jason Post is going to be presented with a Corbin Colonel for his heroic acts, and he has actually become a Medal of Heroism recipient, one of very few in the country. So we're really proud of him. So Jason, if you and Colonel Farley would come up, I would like to present this to you, please. Congratulations. You make us proud. Y'all want to step up?
This doesn't mean that you're a real colonel.
Not yet, right?
Keep
Right.
working, that's right.
All right, get our commissioners and our city manager with us. We are super proud of you and just can't wait to see what you accomplish in your life, son.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Beth Ty Kretzer on the agenda. Are you or Blaine gonna come up and talk?
If we can both.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Okay. Just do the podium.
Yeah. Hopefully the mic's been turned on.
I will introduce myself and my husband. For those that don't know us, my name is Beth Kretzer, and this is my husband Blaine. And I am coming to you today to talk to you about our property, our house. The property that we live in was built by my great-grandparents 126 years ago. And there is an ongoing problem with runoff from Knox County. We live directly at the bottom of the hill. We do live in Knox County on Carter Street, directly on the bottom of the hill of Hall Street. And this has been an ongoing problem since 2009 with the runoff from extreme rains. And it is flash flooding, mostly flash flooding, and the water ends up flooding our house, flooding our property. And probably about 2010 is when we started with trying to contact someone to help with the problem. Knox County wants to say it's Corbin. Corbin wants to say that it is, of course, Knox County's issue since it stems from Knox County. Now, my property also sits right on the city-county line. That's where the issue is. We've had Julio Sama there's been a lot of changes since the issue started
Right.
with changes in personnel, but Julio and, Marlon, they have all been instrumental in trying to help get the issue rectified, but again, it's like two negative forces fighting the other one. And we are the brunt of it. We're not getting a resolution. And just recently, go ahead, Lauren.
This happens about 5-6 times a year. The first time that we really took bad notice to it, we had done some renovations in our backyard. We had put in a screened-in porch, we installed a pool, we put a deck in between there. 2 days after we finished the screened-in porch area, we stepped outside, and in those pictures you can see that's some of what we walked out into, 4 inches of water on the back porch. We now have, so that was approximately 12, 13 years
It was in
ago.
2009.
So, this has done thousands of dollars worth of damage to our property that we have gone to the different departments, whether it be the roads department, whether it be the city manager. I've been in, Mick Burney's office several times on this issue and just trying to keep it on the down low. This is the first time we've come out to you all as a group and in public, and we're like, so the other day when we stepped out, and again, we had 6 inches of water and 3 inches of mud on our backed-in, screened-in porch
Which
area.
that one happened, I believe it was May 9th. I want to say it was May
It's like
9th. It
3
happened in the-
Thursdays ago or so, we had a pretty bad rain.
Right, in the middle of the night. That's what we woke up to, and it looked like the bottom
So
of the
now
pond.
it's at the
Sure was the
point.
day Master Street flooded.
Yes, and we understand that there's a water issue on that side of town to begin with, from all the runoff, but in the pictures, you can see the road was blacktopped. I met with Marlon and the pavers about 5 years ago. I just so happened to be home. Marlon was over there talking with the paving crew. I stepped out and spoke with him. Marlon told them right then and there, guys, when you pave this road, slant it to the opposite, because everybody on the opposite side of me is probably 3 foot up on a hill. That didn't happen. Now that road, we took some pictures of it, that road is falling apart in chunks, the blacktop. And that's the other issue, is that road has been paved over and paved over and paved over and paved over
And
over
not
the years.
regraded.
And
Not-
now
not
it
dug
is
down.
way higher than our driveway ever thought about being. I've got pictures from way back in the day where our driveway was probably a foot above that grade. I got
But it was
pictures all
also
the way
gravel.
back to gravel and dirt roads.
Right.
I'm just coming for some help. I mean, it's like she said, the county wants to say it's a city.
Well, there's good
Unfortunately-
news from what, I just talked to Sam Miller, cause I apologize, I just started to look through the agenda today. It's like, oh, what's Beth on, or no, you texted me last night, what's Beth on the, I was like, oh, I don't know. So anyway, I found out, talked to Sam today, he said that he has put in the call and they are going to do some drainage work. So I guess we need to coordinate to see with what they're doing, if we think that this is, if it's gonna solve the problem or not.
And take advantage of the county doing what they have to
Right.
do.
To coordinate and see if there's something
coordinate
that
it
we.
with possibly doing some grading work on the road and doing as Marlon suggested, and because there's absolutely nothing on the opposite side of the road. On our, we have everything, it's everything.
Is Jeff here?
He is. Jeff and I have spoken about this today.
Okay.
Well, and that's another issue that I wanna speak about too, and I'm not blaming them, I don't know if there's a lack of communication. But even when that happens, you can see the debris that lays in the road. I call over to the garage, hey guys, we got debris laying in the road, rocks, sticks,
Our gravel,
leaves, drains
our
are covered.
property.
We never see anybody. 3-4 days later, I'm in the road. I'm sweeping all the rocks out there. I'm cleaning the ditches out.
And like I said, I don't know what that issue is, and I'm not gonna throw blame at anybody, whether it's a lack of communication, messages aren't being put through.
There was no
But I can't
message.
even-
We spoke with each other.
I can't even get somebody over there to clean up the street after this happens, you know? So,
Well.
that's where we're at, and so I'm sorry, we're just at our wits' end, we're frustrated. My swimming pool's been washed out before, I paid to replace that, and it took me threatening to get people over there about 5 years ago to put the ditch in that they did get in. And it's just, it's an ongoing battle.
Mayor, when I talked to Sam, what are we coordinating? What did they say they would do?
Well, he said that they are going to put in a ditch line on the opposite side of the road and try to run to divert the water over to that ditch line. And I said, do you think that that's gonna solve the issue? And he said, well, that's the first step to see if it'll solve the issue, you know, so.
But that's usually where it ends, Susan.
Well, that's
usually where
why,
it
but
ends.
now you all are here, and so we can have our guys up
I
there
got you.
while they're working on it. We all,
And I
everybody
appreciate
talk
that.
together
We definitely
and
appreciate
see,
it.
and see if we can't get this resolved.
Now, Sam had mentioned when he was over there the other day too, there is what our family always called a branch that goes behind our property. And it is right on our line. Our
But
property
there's
is on
actually
this
a
line.
flood tile, or a drain tile.
Yes.
That goes into that.
And that has got so much debris and so much buildup in it. And Sam had said something about possibly digging that out. And then when he contacted us yesterday,
I spoke with him today.
spoke with him today, he said that they don't have, lawfully, they can't do anything about that particular ditch
Probably
line.
because that's on private property.
And see, that's what
But
I'm not
maybe then you
understanding how that law works, because it's a tile drain from a rain basin
Right.
that is put in by the city that
Or county.
drains into that. And now he's telling me he can't touch it because it's in the city limits, but
Talk to Sam, he talked to me about that.
What?
You can go on private property for a public purpose that affects.
Well, you have to, with the proper agreements.
With
easements.
agreement, yeah.
we had our property surveyed, and I showed Sam the survey markers. I mean, that very back of our property in city limits goes to county. I said, Sam, I showed you the survey markers. Those are, licensed surveys.
Hopefully,
It's county.
we're gonna get this solved.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right.
I'll talk to
we're
him
gonna get
tomorrow,
this
we'll
solved.
just come up there,
And if somebody would come
Just
over and
make
look
sure
at the
that
road,
one of
because
us-
where it
yeah.
does drain into the tile in our driveway,
Yep.
it is now washed out under the road, probably a good foot under the it's just blacktop, there's nothing
Now
else.
it's getting critical.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'll be up there.
Thank
But
you.
thank you for your time.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
gonna grab the pictures. Do you want me to leave this?
Do y'all wanna look at the pictures, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, let us look at them, we don't care.
I'd like to see the pictures, Mayor.
Huh?
I'd like to see the pictures too.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Thank you all very much.
Absolutely.
Now, it's time to hear a presentation by Ms. Cecilia White with the Cumberland River Behavioral Health regarding a Green Dot project for Whitley County. You're not Cecilia.
I'm not. She is my boss. Okay, can you hear me or should I move this down?
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Okay, so first I'm just gonna, basically tell you what Green Dot is a little bit. So, first I'm just gonna start out with, hello, how are you today?
Good, good.
Okay, so, I was wondering, have you heard about Green Dot? So, Green Dot is a violence prevention program, so if you do not yet know what Green Dot is, it can be used as a tool by both professionals and the average person. So thankfully, Green Dot helps us to act proactively and provides us with ways to recognize these problems before they occur, to identify any barriers that may cause someone to not want help, and teaches us multiple ways to intervene. So people learn to help themselves or even look out for others. all it takes is to take the first step with Green Dot and learning how to make a difference for the better. Okay. So this photo voice project was grant funded, and then who was involved, which is our program staff. So Cecilia White, my boss, the Victim Services Director and Emergency Services Director, and then me, myself, Victoria, I am their educator. Then Miranda Robertson, which is our crisis counselor, and then Carla Lawson, which is our community engagement specialist, and then Anita Bowman, which is a professor at University of the Cumberlands. And then Bridget Rogers, she is our trauma therapist, and then Kathleen Crowley, which is a public health educator. So this video is an example of a photo voice project which people were instructed to take pictures of what they liked about Whately County and what they think could be improved in Whately County. We had winners from Winsburg and Corbin areas. With that, it is important that the influenced individual people in Winsburg and Corbin see that the community, what the community had to say. So here is our video.
so much.
Yeah, so, do you have any questions?
No, that was very nice, though. It's very inspiring, and we appreciate you all taking the time for that. And if you want us to share that on social media, just let us know, and we can totally do that.
Thank you.
Okay? All right.
Thank you, guys.
Now for the fun stuff, read and close bids for fiscal year 2025 blacktop, stone, landfill, and cell phone services.
Read them all first. So for blacktop, we received one bid from ATS Construction for CL 2.38D surface 64-22. The virgin material price per ton and the 10% recycled price per ton was $89. The CL 2.75D surface 64-22, the virgin material price per ton and 10% recycled price per ton was $85. For hauling and applying asphalt, the task cost is included. For virgin material price per ton and 10% recycled price per ton, it's $35. And the total bid is based on material FOB and installation. We read all of them. Next was cell phone. We received two bids. The first one was from Verizon. Their bid included Apple iPhone 13s, 5 gig, 128 gigabytes at a cost of $0. This is for 94 lines. The average cost per line per month is $42.86. The total cost per month comes out to $4,029.10. This includes 4 5G unlimited tablets at $20 per month, 20 unlimited jetpack/Wi-Fi devices at $39.99 per month, 4G custom unlimited for public safety smartphone with email and data at $39.99 per month, making the total due monthly for plans and features $4,029.10.
That's the monthly.
That's the monthly. We received a bid from Appalachian Wireless as well. Total service cost for them per month is $4,210, and with a 20% discount, it's approximately $3,368 before taxes, fees, and surcharges. The total service cost per year is $50,520 with a 20% discount, approximately $40,416 before taxes, fees, and surcharges. There's also an upfront equipment cost for 70 iPhone 15s, 158 gigabytes. They gave a total discount on equipment $5,613.26, making the total cost for equipment $63,165.78. That's for 70 phones, 4 iPads, and 22 MiFi devices that will have access to unlimited talk, text, and 25 gigabytes of high-speed data per line. Those were the only bids received for cell phone. For landfill services, we received one bid from Waste Connections and Laurel Ridge Landfill. The net bid price per ton for picked up at the city transfer station is $58.29 per ton, $58.29, and this includes the state fee of $1.75 per ton. The tipping fee per weighted ton delivered to the landfill is $38.63 per ton, and that's the net bid price that includes the state fee of $1.75 per ton. That was the only bid received for landfill, and we also received one bid for stone from Heidelberg Materials. For DGA, it's $19.90 per ton. For number 57, it's $22.95 per ton. For number 8, it's $26.05 per ton. For number 4, it's $21.95 per ton. For riprap or shot rock, it's $20.35 per ton. For channel liner class 2, it's $26 per ton. And for number 23s, it's $20.75 per ton. And and their price includes hauling and snow.
We back up to Waste Connections bid. The hauling bid price is $38.63. That's if we take it to landfill. The pickup price, if they come and get it at the transportation we put in several years ago, is $58.29. Do we have any idea what percentage is doing what? Jeff? Have any idea? Do we haul more than we pick up, just generally speaking? Don't know. Okay, I mean, I didn't tell you I was gonna ask, so, just curious.
Probably look into it a little bit.
I'm sorry?
We'll look into it.
Okay. Might be something with this going on, but it's quite a discrepancy there. And there may be reasons.
Normally what we do with this bid, you know,
Take them under.
I think it's $100 from what I use, investigate that.
I just wanted to mention that.
Here's the thing. For blacktop, for landfill, and for stone, we only have we don't have any choice but to accept these bids. Because we only had one
You can
person.
reject them and rebid them.
I mean, we actually reached out to people, like,
We did.
we made phone calls begging people to bid, and they just,
That's y'all's call.
it's the sad truth that there's nobody, the big guys keep getting bigger. And then as far as Verizon and Appalachian Wireless, it's all, you know, that they give us all, Verizon gives us all the phones and stuff, and so that's where they really go over and above, and they're actually $9,000 less than last year. And Appalachian Wireless, while I would love to use them, I mean, it's almost twice as much.
Y'all
So-
have the option to accept the bids as written, pick out which one you wanna do, which one you approve.
I mean, I don't know why we would tarry on it, because I don't know what else, unless you all wanna go through all this all over again.
Well, I had new information today that the folks that we changed to in Scott County, Tennessee, that took care of our waste collections for years, is now owned by the same folks that.
There you go.
I didn't even know, Jeff, am I right?
I didn't know that news.
That's what I was
Okay.
told. If I'm wrong, I stand corrected. Yeah.
Well, why don't you take them one at a time, take the black top, make a motion to either accept or reject, and have a vote, then do the stone, then do the landfill, and do the cell phones.
Corey, I do have another question for the commission. So that we're clear, is the $89.85 per ton, is that laid down price? Or is this on the blacktop, I'm sorry? Because it is a little confusing. It says hauling and applying asphalt $35 per ton, and then in parentheses says task cost included. I was under the impression that 89 was laid down.
Well, it's total bids based on material, FOB, and installation.
I guess that makes sense. Although this threw me there.
I agree. I don't know what task cost means, but
Here's one's the actual material and then one's them actually doing.
Well, you can approve it on condition that it includes laying the blacktop.
At these prices.
At these prices, yeah. So that you'll have to come back.
and yet again,
You're correct there. As well.
all right, well,
If you all would like to go ahead with these bids, I would entertain a motion to do each one separately.
I mean, realistically, even if we said no to all of these, realistically, what's gonna change?
what if the price goes
They could go up.
Because we made them do it again, they might raise it.
Did you say please the first time? No, I mean, ultimately with, the cell phone bid services comparing the costs, I think Verizon is the obvious choice there. Do we have any disagreement? Go ahead and make a motion on that, and then
motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Rasmus,
Yes. How about asphalt and blacktop? Anybody wanna do make a motion to accept ATS construction?
With the understanding that that includes the installation price, I'll move to accept that bid.
Second.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Rasmus,
Yes. And can I have a motion to approve Waste Connections and Laurel Ridge landfill for the bid, for landfill bid?
Make a motion to accept the landfill bid.
Second.
Baker,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus,
Yes. And Heidelberg Materials for the stone bid.
Said motion to accept Stone.
Second.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Rasmus,
Yes.
All right, moving on, let's go and approve the fiscal year 2025 health, life, dental, and vision insurance.
This one is actually good news compared to the last one. It is pretty much staying the exact same compared to last year. Our health insurance, the annual total cost for the city, since it's a self-funded plan through Aspirant, which uses Anthem's network. The cost this year, the maximum annual claim cost was $945,974. And for next year, with the exact same specs for the plan, everything, it'll be $943,537. The employer and employee cost is expected to stay the exact same. Same for dental, same for life insurance. We do wish to add a different supplemental vision policy. Currently, ours is through CS Benefits. It's about $6.22 per employee per month. And there's not a single provider in Corbin that accepts that vision insurance. Our dental insurance company has a vision plan called VSP, and it would be completely optional for employees because there's one included in their health as well. And it comes up to about $7.43, so it's a little bit more per paycheck. But the co-pays will go from $10 to $20, and they'll get more frame allowance per year depending on what type of frames they get.
And there are people in the network here,
There are several people in network here.
so you save fuel.
All right, does anybody have any more questions about the insurance policy? If not? Yeah. So not quite $1 million.
Yeah.
Going up.
Better than going up, exactly.
Last year it
Exactly.
increased 20%.
It did, and I was really hoping we weren't gonna see that again. So good to know that we're able to hold steady on that, and I will entertain a motion to approve the health, life, dental, and vision insurance policy presentation by Tori, whatever.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Approve arena special events policy.
So this is, we have to do this each year. It's for all shows that Christie promotes in-house. The total cost for this year is $5,560.27, and this is based on the event schedule that was turned in at the time of renewal. If any events are added after the schedule, it'll be an additional cost. Christie, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was gonna explain that too. That is not an actual, like, you guys aren't paying for it, no, like a general fund or anything. That is something that I take individually out of, like, Old Crow Medicine Show is our show. So when I do settlement, that'll come out of our tickets for what it costs for me to have insurance for that specific show. So that's actually my cost, not, so it's just,
We just have to approve it.
yeah, you just,
Okay. Thank you.
It's through Scottsdale Insurance Company.
Okay, can I get a motion motion to approve Scottsdale Insurance special events policy for the arena.
So moved. Second.
Baker,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Resolution,
2024-4, a resolution adopting and approving the execution of an agreement with KYTC for Municipal Road A fiscal year 2025.
Resolution 2024-4, Incorporated City of Corbin, resolution adopting and approving the execution of a municipal aid co-op program contract between the Incorporated City and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Rural and Municipal Aid for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, as provided in Kentucky revised statutes and accepting all streets referred to therein as being streets which are part of the Incorporated City. Be it resolved by the legislative body of the Incorporated City, the legislative body of the Incorporated City does hereby accept all streets referred to in said contract as being city streets which are a part of the Incorporated City. And the legislative body of the Incorporated City does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said contract. And does hereby accept said contract, and by such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated. And the Chief Executive Officer of the said Incorporated City is hereby authorized and directed to sign said contract as set forth on behalf of the legislative body of, and the City Clerk of Corbin is hereby authorized and directed to certify thereto.
All right, so we get this every year. This year, we're getting $171,519.39 from the state to pave our roads.
I believe that's a little over 8,000 more than last year.
A little bit better.
About what it came to.
So, yet again, we've got no say in this. We just need to vote on the resolution so that we can accept that money.
It's our
Or the
part.
agreement, the resolution adopting and approving the execution of an agreement.
It's our part of state road funds that come back through a formula of the Transportation Cabinet per the Kentucky Legislature. And this, they tabulate it and formulate it, and that's our piece. So, we don't get rural and secondary road funds. County governments get rural and secondary road funds. We get rural municipal aid funds, all different funds and formula.
Motion to accept the resolution.
Second.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Next on the agenda is to hire Graham Barano as a full-time dispatcher.
Second motion. Graham. Second.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. All right, City Manager, time for your report.
Thank you to everyone that showed up tonight and to the city commission. Your hard work this month makes all this possible. We appreciate it. All of the department heads, thank you very much. The first thing I'd like to say, brag a little bit on Christy. She of course runs the Corbin Arena. We've had some new financial processes put in place so that we could better understand the many funds, dollars, vehicles that go on at the Corbin Arena. It's a little island in and of itself, and oftentimes Christie's stuck up there and running the show with 4 full-time employees, or maybe it's 5. But we will brag on her a little. We're getting great reporting to City Hall, to the staff, and to myself, which is very integral to what we're doing, watching our budget, trying to be austere, and yet fill all the needs that we have and some of the wishes, and they're plenty above. So I want to brag on her a little. Thank you, Christy, and thank you for the good shows you put on, and just want to say thanks and brag on you a little bit. I want to brag on Jeff's construction crew who rebuilt the historic Engineer Street Bridge in about 3 weeks. 2 weeks, sorry. Sorry. And about, I don't know what our budget was. It was a moving target sort of with some of the things we found over there. But they did a very good job, and we came in under budget. I can't give you an exact figure, but I went over, I think, every day. They really did a good job, so kudos to the Public Works construction crew, and it really looks nice. I'm sure you've all got comments. So,
Very nice.
Really nice job, thank you very much. So, I wanna thank the downtown committee, that's sort of an ad hoc committee that we put together. The owners at Seasons, Shay and Jason, Tim Lowe, Betty Sue Owens, and others. For right now, they have been coordinating everything with the loss of our tourism director, not lost, she's still around. She's just running Cumberland Falls State Park, and good for her, but it left us a bit in the lurch. So we, all sort of, those folks dug in, and there's already some obvious, evidence of their work already early on. And I wanna thank those folks. Really, I know the department heads are basically gonna say the same thing I'm saying. Our budget, they're really doing a great job. They took to heart the message that you gave them, that we wanna start watching everything, and we are. And, we're getting POs for anything over $300, which had never been done in some departments. But it's being done, and everybody's just jumped in there, and it's working well. I want to thank all of you. It's hard. Change is hard. So,
Scott, if I may, real quickly,
Yes.
to what you were talking about, downtown merchants.
Yes.
That's exactly the type of civic engagement that the Green Dot presentation was referring to earlier. When you have people that care about their community, about their city, people who feel welcome to come and tell their needs to the commission, things like that. That's
Right.
exactly what we need, and that's what we want. So, sorry, I don't.
No, John, you're exactly right. And when we did that 2 months ago, that's exactly the spirit, in which we did it. So, thanks to all those folks, and we're gonna have some more changes. And Mayor, is this the time you would like for me to announce what we've discussed today?
For Jacob?
Yes.
Yep.
Do you wanna do the prologue?
All right, so what we've decided to do, because we never, Maggie was taking on the role of downtown manager, really in her role as the tourism director. She managed the funds that we put in the pot for the downtown district. And, we never really paid her to be the downtown manager. So, we're not in a position to hire a downtown manager, but what we can do is tap our amazing new Parks and Rec director, Jacob Rowan, who has graciously agreed for a nominal fee of $10,000 a year to coordinate our downtown. So he's not necessarily a downtown manager, but he is a coordinator. So we're gonna have somebody that represents the city downtown, talking with the merchants and helping to coordinate all the myriad of activities that go on that are not basically a tourism activity. Now, of course, he will also coordinate with the new tourism director when and if they hire someone. But Jacob is going to take on the job as our downtown coordinator, if you all approve that in this meeting this evening. And I highly recommend you do it before he changes his mind. So.
Vote quickly.
Vote quickly.
That motion to hire Jacob
Second.
Baker?
Yes.
Gamble?
Yes.
Shepherd?
Yes.
Ryder?
Yes, and Jacob, I'm just teasing, you know we're here for you, okay? So-
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome, thank you for taking that on. Anything else? And talking about Green Dot and talking about our downtown merchants and everybody jumping in, I gotta give a shout out to the Corbin Garden Club because they beautified Nib Rock Park last week and the library. Oh, I didn't know about the library and the butterfly garden at Sanders Park. So these are all volunteers. Corbin Garden Club, if anybody's interested in joining, I'm sure that they would love to have you. And they just did a fabulous job. So when you go and see the pretty flowers this summer, you can thank them.
Mayor, if I may,
Yeah.
I'll lift something up. It is the time of year, to go along with Jacob's appointment and, everything else we have going on. We have taken a concerted effort to go after blighted properties, rundown properties. Mr. Hammonds is probably more experienced than any city attorney in the state. on these matters, well,
I don't know if
40-something
that's
years.
good or bad.
It's just.
40-something years. So if you have property, and I hope the press repeats this, please take care of your properties. Do what you know needs to be done, what your neighbors are doing to make their properties look nice and presentable. If you're an absentee owner, landlord, we know where you are. We can cite you just as easily as we can anyone else through the proper legal channels. It's spring, it's time, it feels like summer. We have properties that need attention, and would you please do it the easy way?
Oh, your lawn.
We would appreciate it. So just a word, please, to the public, take pride in your town, as you've always done. A lot of pride here in Corbin. I think the problem's a lot of absentee ownership, and maybe some landlords who have just let the numbers get away from them a little bit. Perhaps, I don't really know, but, please, do that for all of us, yourselves and your neighbors. It's the easiest thing to do. The legal way to do it is not the easiest, and it's also much more costly. So thank you, if that's it. I'll let you throw that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to department, reports. Let's see, Jacob, do you wanna start?
Sure.
Want to pass out some flyers to everyone there. Some important dates that are coming up in May. Tomorrow night at the McBurney Center, we're going to host their open house workshop that's funded through the grant that we received a couple of months ago through ARC. That will be soliciting public response for their ideas in our park system. There will be pictures of our parks as they are now, stickers that they can post. It'll take 15 minutes for people to walk through the gym in the McBurney Center and let us collect ideas from different leagues that we have that participate in our facilities and the general public as we look to develop a plan for the city of Corbin and our Parks and Rec department. I think it's imperative that we listen to the public and let them guide us as we write our plan. Another date on there is the opening of the pool. The dome is off. That actually was a much easier process than putting it up and bringing it down.
Oh, that's
And
good.
thanks to Public Works for helping us out with getting that dome stored. And the pool will be opening on Saturday, the 25th. So look forward to seeing everyone at the pool. We have lifeguards going through their training right now as we speak. So we also purchased lounge chairs that will be put out. Those will be available to rent all day. That's something new.
And we have something to go with those.
Yes, and we want to thank Pepsi Bottling Company here in Corbin for the donation of umbrellas that we have over at the pool. How many umbrellas did we get? 8?
Well, we got 8, but I think we're getting 10. So.
Yes, and they look nice over at the pool. So
And they're nice, not cheap.
right. Yes. We also have the fitness court that some of you have probably seen on the corner of Poplar and 7th. And we're going to have the grand opening for that fitness court on Thursday, May the 30th at 11 a.m. We will have students there to demonstrate how to use the equipment. There are QR codes that the public can use from their cell phone to, as soon as they scan the QR code, a trainer will come up on the phone and will show them how to use the equipment and different workouts that they can do. So that's exciting to see. I know that there are a lot of questions about the splash pad right now, and I know you've all probably got calls today. It would have been a great day to be over at the splash pad. But we do have some water elements there that are going to have to be replaced. Those parts we figured out what parts are needed last week. I'm still waiting on a call back from American Leak Detection to tell us when they'll be able to install those pieces. After that, we already have someone at Public Works that has agreed to do the concrete work. I'm hoping that we're only talking a week or two before we're able to get the splash pad operating, okay? And then we had no bids on the soccer building up at the Civic Center Park. So I would like your permission to advertise again for bids. I used a service that solicits bids and publicizes that we have. Right, we sent all the information that we need, so we expected some bids to come in, none did. So once you see this advertisement this time, hopefully if there's any local contractors that you know of that can help us out to get some bids, and we're anxious to move forward with that.
So what is it what is it, a metal building? Is it what is it?
It can be, and it's a concession stand and storage unit, and I forget the square footage that we're asking for, but it was.
Okay, all right.
The what?
I said it could be metal or.
Right, it could be anything.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So the Mennonites don't need them.
The Mennonites are actually, they are working on the batting cages right now, sorry. But yeah, that'll be finished within a week. So we were up there today, Scott and I were looking at that, so.
The invitation to bid for the soccer building that we'd sent out last month was a 30 by 40 multi-use soccer building to accommodate concessions, storage, and covered patio.
That's it, right? Do we need to?
Need a motion.
Okay.
Authorize.
Thank you.
Is that motion to rebid soccer building?
Second.
Any questions for me?
Shepherd,
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Anybody got any questions for Jacob? Thank you very much.
And we'll be, hopefully next month I'll have more to talk about with downtown, and, it's something that's come upon us today, but I look forward to that.
I feel confident you will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob, thank you.
I'm more Mennonites, Jacob.
That's right. Rusty, do you have anything? No. Does Barry here?
Barry's not here.
Barry's not here. What, Scott?
I have 2 things.
Okay, come on.
Okay, good.
I have 2 things this evening. So we have an account at Fort Bank Special Operations Section for the Police Department. They really only use it to buy ammo. It's not very often. Fort Bank has a policy that if it is dormant more than 6 months, there's a $10 fee. I told them today that simply they can't wait. So I did call Hometown. Theirs is 24 months. So he has an account there now. That's the state forfeiture. He said that they could put that money in the state forfeiture because they also buy items like that. So I'd like to close the account at Fort Bank, Special Operations, take the balance, which is a little over $1,000, and move it to the state forfeiture account at Hometown Bank, and just close this one.
If we could get one less checking account.
Yes.
Then I think that that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just $1,000 in there.
A little over $1,000 right now. So we'll just close it all together and just move that and get one less account. We can use that for both.
All right, so then I'll need a motion to close the special operations account, for the police department at Fort Bank and roll that money into the hometown bank
State forfeiture.
state forfeiture.
So moved.
Baker,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes.
All right, my other thing is, my request is to amend the business license ordinance 6-2005. I wanna, add a telehealth license. Sorry, I'm requesting to add a telehealth, license, including but not limited to home occupation, and still be in compliance with ordinance 1/2015, which is our development ordinance. We don't currently have anything like that, and so since COVID, I thought that that might go away during COVID, the telehealth, but it's still, I guess it's gonna be a thing like a lot of other things that COVID created. So, we have a need for that right now, and so I'd like to create one. And Scott and I kinda talked, and we think, with healthcare license, we kinda look, we're gonna say, $300 a year is what we think would be.
So is that in addition to the healthcare license? Is that two?
Each, so right now, the way the license are done, each healthcare provider has a license, so, physical therapists, doctors, nurse practitioners, PAs, DOs, they all have their own license. So like every doctor, every nurse practitioner at the hospital, all of those have an individual license that the hospital buys for them. That's their agreement.
Well,
it sounds like that's something that we need. If we don't have it, then, yes, sir.
Ms. Mayor, this is a topic that I want to talk, to the council about. So I would urge you not to take action. Give me a chance to use my 5 minutes or
Okay.
less on this topic.
Oh, okay, okay, all right, sure. I mean, I'm fine with that. Y'all okay with that? Okay, all right. Do you want to come forward now, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Mayor and members of the Corbin City Council, good afternoon. My name is Hank Brady. I'm an attorney from Versailles, Kentucky, and I have been asked to represent Dr. Christopher Stokes and his wife Catherine in response to a notice of violation that they received from your code enforcement. The notice of violation was because, according to their attorney's reading and code enforcement reading of your current zoning ordinance, the professional occupation category of home occupation does not allow doctors to see patients at home. Now, I have been doing planning and zoning law for about 47 years myself.
About 4 years old.
And in my experience in Woodford County and across Kentucky, there is an opportunity for home occupations to occur in people's residence, either as a principal use or as a conditional use. This is going to be under 5 minutes, I promise. And so in my own experience, my dentist in Midway had his dental practice in his home. And my fellow lawyer, Tom O'Shaughnessy, had his legal practice in his home in Versailles. And he saw clients, and Dr. Moore saw clients at home. And this is a standard, many year aspect of home occupations as a part of what is allowed in the residential zone across Kentucky. And I read your ordinance much like the ordinance in Woodford County and Lawrenceburg and across Kentucky, where you allow home occupations to include as the first category professional office. And all of that is in the notebook that I've given you. This is what I presented to the code enforcement. It has your ordinance, and it permits professional offices as a home occupation. I've also given some legal authority that includes doctor's offices, dental offices, in the professional office under home occupation. And all of these see patients in their home. That is pretty standard across Kentucky with the language I find in your ordinance. But your attorneys and your code enforcement, and now your board, have determined that Dr. Stokes is not allowed to see patients in his house. We have been found to be in violation by the board. We have 30 days to appeal. We will appeal, but I would like to have an opportunity to resolve this so that Dr. Stokes can see patients like other doctors across Kentucky that have their medical practice in their home as part of a home occupation professional office. I believe that your ordinance is very much like ordinances across Kentucky, and I believe your attorneys have misread it. I'm telling you this because what this may mean is that I will need to sue the city regarding the proper interpretation of your ordinance. I mean, we'll be getting to that if we cannot find a way to resolve it. At this point, we're stuck. I've tried again tonight, and we're stuck. So right now, we've been denied the opportunity to have inpatient visits in our home. We think that is our legal right. We don't think there's a need to amend your business license, but equally important, it's an amendment to a zoning ordinance, and you can't do that without sending that zoning ordinance back to the planning commission planning commission has to hold a public hearing. After the public hearing, the planning commission makes a recommendation for a text amendment, and that comes back to the city council like any other amendment to your development ordinance. This is governed by KRS 100, and this is a proposal as I read it. It does something with your licenses, but she's asking to amend the ordinance to add a new category of business in this community, as I read it. So I would urge you not to take action, and I would urge you to consider a way to try to work this out, where I can go through this notebook with you in a meeting where we schedule it, and see if I can persuade you and your attorneys to allow Dr. Stokes to see patients in his residence as a legitimate home occupation for a professional office. Hope I'm under 5 minutes. But I want to introduce myself, introduce the Stokes, explain the issue, and urge you not we would like to have our business license issued like the ones that are in this notebook. We've been given these licenses since 2000. We've gone in to ask for a renewal of our medical license, and we've not been able to get one. But if this is going to be in litigation.
2020, right? Not 2000, right?
2020. 2020.
Okay.
The 2020 license is in here.
Okay.
So we have 2 copies of our professional license in here. We'd like to have that renewed, knowing that this is an issue of dispute, and we'll let the courts resolve it if we cannot resolve it by negotiations. But am I under 5 minutes?
Shut off, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Any questions?
I'd like to briefly respond, I guess.
Yes, thank you.
So, the reason this issue came up in code enforcement, there were some calls that came in, that there was a business being operated in a residential area. Code enforcement went out and checked it out, and they found out that Dr. Stokes and his wife were operating a medical clinic in their home just right off 4th Street. So that's what prompted the issuance of the violation. The Stokes has requested a hearing on the issue. We had a hearing in front of the code enforcement board, and they found that a violation did occur. Simply put, they're operating a business in a residential area when it has to be in a commercial area. Now, I certainly respect their position. We disagree with their position because they're seeing patients. You know, if this was simply a telehealth type thing, it would be completely valid. Now, what we're here on tonight is just on creating a business license for telehealth. We're not amending any kind of zoning ordinance or anything. We're simply saying, hey, there is no business license that the city can sell for telehealth. So that's what Sky's asked. Let's create a business license for telehealth. That way people that are in Dr. Stokes' position can come in and say, hey, I'm wanting to operate a business, you know, whether it be within a residential area or a commercial area, so we can sell them a permit. Right now, the only permit that we can sell is just a physician's permit, and it's basically across the board. But that's kind of where we're at. As far as the law and changing the zoning, I think he hit the nail on the head. If they're wanting to request a zoning change for their residents to operate a clinic in the residence, they need to go before the planning and zoning or the board of adjustments and request that. They would make a recommendation to the commission and then come forward, and you all would vote on whether changing that zoning ordinance. But as far as what we're here on tonight, you know, it's just creating a business license for telehealth. That way Dr. Stokes can operate telehealth. He just can't see patients within a residential area. To operate a clinic, it's crystal clear if you read the ordinance. Have a medical clinic, you have to be in a C1, C2, and C3. You know, I don't want to invite litigation upon the city, but those ordinances are in place, you know, for a particular purpose. They've been in place for many years, and, you know, we can't just simply pick and choose who we're going to enforce them on and who we're not going to enforce them on. So that's kind of the city's position. That's the position that the code enforcement board took when they issued the violation. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I actually got to go coach T-ball in just a few minutes. If anybody wants to talk, you know, outside of the meeting, one-on-one or anything, I'd be happy to, you know, go over anything with you. I'm sure Mr. Grady would.
I have a question. So, right now, you all are operating without a business license because there is no license available to you for telehealth, is that correct?
If I could, Madam Mayor and council members, for the last 4 years, yes, we have been granted a home occupation medical business license. It seems.
Okay, hang on a minute.
Yes.
What kind of license do they have, Scott?
It's in your notebook. You got a copy of it?
And we can't get into all this, I'm just.
This is, I've got to participate in other tell the commission that this is not a place to litigate this.
I just wanted to introduce myself.
Okay, well, I think we're doing a little bit more than that.
Right.
Well, if I could have 5 minutes, as I signed up for it.
Just to answer your question, Mayor, the license he had previously was a physician's license. That was issued during COVID.
Same ones that Baptist Health. and
All the doctors have, yes.
Okay.
It was issued back
Not
in
for-
2020, I believe, during COVID.
Right.
You know, we basically made an exception. We were under the assumption that he was doing telehealth only. It wasn't until there started to be a lot of traffic down a dead-end street, and people started saying, hey, what's going on here?
Okay.
Which brought rise to the issue that we're here.
Gotcha. Okay,
Well,
you have
if
5
I could,
minutes.
Madam Mayor, the traffic issue that you just brought up is far less than the church that's across the street. There's a church with a very large parking lot. They have meetings sometimes every day. There is no traffic issue. The ordinance, the way that it is read by most attorneys, my understanding, is we are in full compliance because we are not a clinic. We're not a clinic. I am a single professional person operating a home occupation as defined by our ordinance. We try to take care of the people in our community, such as Green Dot had mentioned. We keep our yards mowed. We are in complete compliance with everything that this city has put out. I was told previously by zoning in 2020, when Mr. Mahan was responsible for that department, that this was exactly what could be done. There was an older lady there, cannot remember her name. She came in, she went down the list, she looked at everything, she said yes. She took me down to the city collector's office to pay my fee. I don't know what else to say, other than we've been established for 4 years. This is gonna cause undue burden on our patients, on our business, if you want to call it that, our home occupation. Corbin does not define what a professional office is, other than to say a professional office. So if I was an attorney, if I was an accountant, if I was a dog walker, if I was a massage therapist, or if I was a tattoo artist, according to our ordinance, it would be perfectly allowed with no limitation on in-person, or if you can do tele-tattoo, I'm not sure, but so I have been singled out by code enforcement for reasons that are suspect to begin with, because there are many of those businesses that I just mentioned. There's 850 businesses in Corbin. I've not got to see the whole list yet, or their addresses, but if you do a Google search, you will find even a nurse practitioner who has her business in her home. We presented all this to the board. The board didn't care. They were just going on what Mr. Watkins had said. He came into that department 2 years after. 2 years after we had been approved by code and by the city collector's office. We've been issued this permit, license, whatever you'd like to call it. I do not want a telemedicine only license. There, as far as I know, there is no such restriction in Kentucky. in Kentucky, you have a full and unrestricted license to practice medicine. And that is anywhere within the Commonwealth. This is a state law, this is a state board that has determined this. I would ask the council, I was born right beside of where we're at, in the old hospital. I've lived in Corbin all my life, except for the 24 years, 11 months, and 9 days I spent in the United States Navy. Except for deployments, going to medical school, things like that, I've always had Corbin as my home city, period. And for reasons unknown to me, everyone else in Corbin is allowed to operate a business out of their home, except presumably someone who is a physician, or as was mentioned, a dentist, nurse practitioner, whatever. And Ms. Scott did ask for an amendment to the ordinance, if you recall, if you look at the minutes. But I thank you all very much for your time, and I hope that this can be resolved this evening, because this is at least until something can be worked out with judicial review or whatever that is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate that. I doubt if we're gonna get this worked out tonight, because obviously this is the first that the commission has heard this, so we're gonna have to take this under advisement, but we appreciate you all coming and stating your case for us, okay? Does anybody have any questions?
Dr. Stokes, how long
Yes.
have you practiced medicine?
I graduated from the University of Kentucky in 2001. I practiced in many locations, but mainly the United States Navy.
The general practitioner?
Family medicine, that was my training. I see, it's hard to look at a baby's ear over telemedicine. It's hard to look in someone's sore throat. It's hard to listen to their lungs and heart. That by definition, it can't be done that way. For me, if the council would read the ordinance, I think it was passed in 2015, this is something, it's probably held over from the 1950s or 60s, and I believe that it was included for this particular situation at point. So I don't believe that we're in violation. I'm not sure what it is, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there are any other questions.
All right, thank you. We're not gonna have time to go too deep into this tonight, but we can bring it back up, okay. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go to Public Works. Jeff, do you have anything? You gotta go.
Maybe excused.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Hope you win.
Recycling.
Nope,
Tom?
we're good, thank you.
You're good. Christie? She left.
Oh, there's.
Jack, did you have anything for fire? I know Barry's not here.
No, we're good.
Okay, all right. Christie, do you have something?
No, I'm good. I'm just gonna go with what
Okay.
Scott said. I like that.
Okay, all right. Bruce, do you have anything? You're good? All right. Do we have any public comment? Anybody got anything? Ms. Main?
Oh, I'll be quiet.
Okay.
But I got a lot, but I'll be quiet.
Okay, all right. Well, you know where to find us.
Yep.
Okay, I've got just a couple of things very quickly. Okay, first, we got a $200,000 Safe Streets for All planning grant. We have a consultant that is helping us to get the plans together for opportunities to make our community safer. And we're going to have a public comment, a planning meeting on June 3rd at 5 p.m. at City Hall. So if you all could be thinking over the next couple of weeks about areas in town that you think are a hazard, traffic hazard, either through automobile or pedestrian or bicycling, anything that has to do with transportation, please come to this public meeting and let your voice be heard. Also, we have announced today that we are in a partnership with Forgotten Felines, which is a nonprofit that does spay and neuters. And we're going to do they call it, I think, TNR, trap, neuter, release. So I know we've gotten quite a few complaints about feral cats in our community. This is an opportunity for you to come to City Hall, check out a cage that you can then put on your private property and capture these feral animals that perhaps been giving you issues on your property. And then you can take them to Corbin Animal Clinic. They will vet these cats, make sure that they're healthy, spay and neuter them, and then they will be brought and re-released back into your neighborhood. Sorry, but that's the way it goes. But at least they will be a healthy cat, and they will be spayed or neutered to where eventually we might be able to get caught up and make a real dent in this problem that we've got in our community. Does anybody have any questions about that? All right, and then the other thing is Legacy Nissan has approached us about some free EV chargers that they are going to be able to donate to the city of Corbin. We need 5 locations, and then we would pay for the, to get the lines run, the electrical lines and things like that to them. But these are very expensive EV chargers, and so if we are interested in them, which I think we should be, we can think of 5 different locations, and Legacy Nissan will be donating those to the city for our use. So, and we can charge in order to recoup some of our cost in getting them installed. So that is the 3 things that I wanted to bring up before I forgot. Does any of the commissioners have anything? All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Baker?
Yes.
Gamble?
Yes.
Shepherd?
Yes.
Travis?